Hello, everybody. I am Kim Trathen, Business and Marketing Coach, and today is our next segment of Girls Talk Business. And I'm really excited to have today's guest on. I should get notified here in a minute that she is on the live, and then I'll go ahead and bring her on camera. Just so you know, she is joining us from Hawaii. She's on the island of Kauai, I think is how you pronounce it. And as you may know, they have potential hurricanes hitting. So Tracy and I connected a few minutes ago, and she said she has internet right now and that it is still a go. I'm going to move my lighting here a minute. So Tracy has a really interesting story because she came from a pretty high-level corporate job, and she felt like she was missing out on a lot in life. So like so many other female entrepreneurs, it looks like Tracy just joined. So I'm going to bring Tracy on camera a minute. You should have a notification to accept that you are coming on. And then we should see us on split screen. Let's see here. Hello!
Hi!
How are you?
I am good.
So you're doing okay over there? You're hunkered down, or what's going on?
Yep, we're hunkered down. It's a little gusty. I think the brunt of it's gonna miss us. The main worries right now are flooding, but we're high enough in the mountains it shouldn't really affect us much. So
oh gosh, I sure hope
just
so.
that waiting.
Yes, yes. And are businesses still functioning there, or have people had to close down businesses in case they get hit?
They actually started closing businesses yesterday and boarding up windows.
Wow.
So it was really up to them. I actually went and got, because with this waiting, I'm always underestimating like what we have. So yesterday I ran out to get more water. And it was funny that there was some clothing boutiques, because I just ran to the closest Longs.
Yeah.
And there were some clothing boutiques and stuff that were open, and they were making a killing. They were busy.
Wow.
So,
even the clothing places?
Yeah. So I don't know if people are like kind of curing their stress with shopping or.
Right. Oh, that's so funny. You wouldn't have thought that. So I'm so excited to have you on Girls Talk Business today. I've been really excited to chat with you. I would love, and how do you pronounce your last name?
Medeiros.
Medeiros. See, I would have mutilated it. So Medeiros Consulting is your business. And could you start out by just telling all the viewers what it is that you do in your business with Medeiros Consulting? And do you have any employees? Is it all you? Are you running every piece of the business?
Right now, it's all me with some subcontractors' help.
Okay.
We actually are looking to make a full-time employee this month. Well, for September. I'm already in September, it seems like.
I know.
So, yeah, and then from there, we're going to be growing probably in the first quarter. So
that's
we're definitely
so exciting.
in that growth stage.
Yes. Oh, that's really exciting. For anybody that jumps on, if you're coming on the live right now, or if you catch the replay, I'm in Michigan. Tracy is is it Kauai? Is that how you pronounce it?
Yep. We're on the island of Kauai. It's the Garden Island, and I live in Kaloa.
Oh, amazing. So if you're catching the replay, drop and tell us where you're watching from. We love to see where everybody is and how far Girls Talk Business spreads around the world. It's been really exciting to see all the different countries that have come on. And if you can also drop in the comments and tell us a little bit about your business. If you're catching the replay, let us know if you're running every piece of the business, if maybe you're like Tracy and you're starting to take on employees, or maybe you already have employees. I love to see, and I'm sure Tracy does too, kind of where the viewers are at with their business journey. So what is it that you help your clients with in your consulting work?
So I'm actually a business manager and project manager. And I really focus on systems. That's kind of like my passion. I know it's not the sexiest of topics, but I love systems. So I will always tout that every business needs systems, and different where you are in your business kind of shows you how you approach systems differently. But I basically help my clients by managing their tasks, their projects, their team, and the day-to-day operations so that they can become the visionary for their business.
Oh, I love that. So what size businesses do you work with? Do you work with all different sizes?
That's an ironic question. I actually really love the small businesses, the mom and pops, and that's actually originally how I got started. I wanted to really focus on my local brick and mortar businesses, but then shortly after found that to be sustainable, I had to branch out. So the majority of my clients they're scaling. They usually have a team already in place. They're mid-size, but I love taking on those startups and getting the foundation pieces, because so many times new businesses overlook those foundation pieces of systems. So I also like to help them as well.
Oh, that's awesome.
Working on a startup offer, but haven't quite gotten how it looks like all together.
And when did you launch your business?
2016. It was the end of 2016.
Wow.
I kind of started soft with some local clients here, and then announced it fully online and everywhere in December of 2016.
Oh, that's awesome. So what can you share with everybody kind of what your story is, what your journey is, how, I started Girls Talk Business because I wanted to make sure that there was an outlet for women to talk about their journey. And I think there's so much power in every person's story. And I think we can learn so much from each other. And on social media, you often just see the sexy after effects of, look at me in my Bentley, or I just made $10,000 with 5 minutes of work. You see all of this glamorous life on social media. And even if those things are true that people are posting, they just often don't talk about everything that they went through to get to that place. So I really wanted this to be a platform, especially too thinking of the early stage entrepreneurs or the aspiring entrepreneurs that think, oh, so-and-so did that because she had it easier than me, or she had more money than me, or she had more time than me. Whatever those things are that hold women back from pursuing their dreams, I really wanted them to have a place to hear business owners talk about it's not all rainbows and butterflies. Everybody has struggles that they go through. Everybody has insecurities or setbacks, and it doesn't mean that you're on the wrong path. So I would love if you could share a little bit about what your story is and what brought you to launching your own business.
Yeah, so it kind of started, I've always wanted to own my own business. I came from a corporate background, so to me, where I excel at is spreadsheets and systems and all the boring stuff. And to me, owning a business kind of meant more like you were creative and you could create a product, or you made a product, or you had some sort of tangible thing to sell. And so for me, it was really difficult kind of piecing it together how I was going to own my own business. My dad unfortunately passed away, and so when he did that, I wanted to move to Hawaii.
Oh.
And
oh
goodness.
I know my dad just passed away on the 4th of July, and it changes things. It changes your perspective. It changes where your focus is and the things that you value. And I've talked to a lot of women that losing a parent or somebody close to them has been that pivotal point where they've decided, like, I need to do what makes me happy. And it's difficult going through those times, but I'm happy that you were able to figure out what would make you happy.
Yeah, so thinking about like how I was going to create a business was a little challenging, but I took a position here where I was an operations manager for a solar company. And that actually enabled me to really throw myself into the community. And I noticed really quickly that there's a lot of small businesses, mom and pop businesses, that were struggling because they didn't have the foundation in their back office, or they didn't know how to manage people. Not all of us are cut out to manage a team.
Yeah.
So I really took that as to, okay, there's something here that I can help with. And then I actually just in passing one day was talking with a contractor, and he's like, oh my gosh, I've got like $10,000 in outstanding invoices, and I just don't have time to collect on that. I'm like, that is absolutely ridiculous. You have a family. give me your invoices and I will take care of this for you. And so the next day he comes by and he says, here's my invoices. And his invoices were like Post-it notes and
I love it.
napkins. So I was like, well, hello, no wonder nobody's paying you. So we got him all set up with a invoicing system, follow-up emails that automatically went out. And we actually got him his money rather quickly, within like a week or so.
Oh, wow.
Most
Yeah,
of
that's
it.
very quickly.
Got another 1,000. There was like a couple thousand that we still had to kind of go after. But he was amazed at how easy it seemed that we could just do that. So then he told his plumber friend, and it kind of spiraled like that.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, you know what? I was actually let go from that solar company. They moved off the island, and I'm like, you know what? We're gonna make this work. And when I decided that, it was also very important to me that I didn't take out loans, that I didn't go in debt creating a business.
Yeah.
So that was a struggle in itself. Like in the beginning, it was easy because I had that momentum of, friends telling friends. And I started rather quickly with being booked out. And then it kind of got to a couple months in later where it was like, okay, now I need to start like really figuring out how we're going to excel and make, meet all the bills.
Yeah.
And that was a learning curve.
So what were some of the biggest struggles? Like you had that momentum in the beginning, which seems like really great momentum. So when you say you had to figure out then how you were going to cover all the bills, was it that you needed to streamline your own system so you could take on more clients, or was it finding new clients? Like where was your struggle with that?
It was, my biggest struggle was I did have a coach at the time, and it was mainly online. And so I kept trying to figure out how am I going to apply these methods with what I'm doing brick and mortar. Mm-hmm. And in my head, the corporate mindset is business, regardless, whatever you do, however you do it, business is business. So I was probably pretty stubborn too in the beginning. But my main thing was making that transition of kind of getting over that mindset that for me, I'm so much better in person. I connect better with people, talking with them face to face. I do not mind talking in front of groups, but for some reason, the online and finding clients online really intimidated me.
Oh, okay.
So I had to really get over that hurdle.
Yes. So how were you able to work through that? Was it a mindset issue that you had to think through, or was it a literal education on how to market yourself online to attract clients?
It was more a mindset. Like I knew kind of the fundamentals of what needed to be done, but getting myself to actually do it, I was a big procrastinator. Like I knew you needed to make connections and follow up was a big thing.
Yeah.
But with you not just like, you going and showing up at somebody's business is a lot easier to talk to somebody than kind of knocking on the door on the online space and getting them to interact with you. So,
and I think that's interesting that you pointed out too, that you procrastinated, because I think oftentimes when we're procrastinating, it's because there's some resistance around it. There's something that we're intimidated by or fearful of, or there's some reason usually why we procrastinate about things.
Exactly. I agree with that. I think you see it with your clients. There's something they aren't clear on. They don't know fully what the next step is. They're not going to just jump up and do it.
Yes.
There's going to be some resistance there.
Yes, definitely. So how did you work through those mindset issues? Were you able to work through that with your coach? Is it something that you worked through on your own?
I think it was a little bit of both. One is that it's not so scary. I think I made it more scary than it was. And then also the urgings with a coach, and she's very visible, so it was really easy just to watch her, and she's got it down pat.
Oh, that's so helpful. That's so helpful.
I see Michelle. Hi, Michelle.
Awesome. Looks like we have Sarah on too. Hi, Sarah. Glad you guys can join us. And so Tracy, once you decided that you were going to launch your business and you had this momentum in the beginning, and then you started working through that mindset, did you start to see more consistent clients coming in? Like how quickly did you start making connections with people online Or did you find that really beefing up your online presence brought more brick and mortar near you because then they were also seeing you online?
Actually, no. I think brick and mortar, you still need to go out. I'm actually very lucky to be involved with a lady entrepreneur group here that's been really nice in getting me out in the community and meeting other lady entrepreneurs here in Kauai. So I'm thankful I found them when I did.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And now I think we're just kind of meshing the two together with now they're following on Instagram and they're seeing my online presence
so what, if you were looking back on your journey of launching your business and you had gone through the heartache of losing your dad, and then you had gone through some of the stress of knowing that you needed to scale your business, was there a specific turning point that you felt like you had to get over your biggest mindset hurdle? Was it when you actually had to go and scale it? Do you think that was your biggest mindset hurdle, or was there something before you even launched your business? Like, I know a lot of women get really nervous about even the thought of launching their own business. And I'm curious if you experienced that or if it was different for you because you kind of had a ready-made client right there before you launched.
I think it was. It was a lot easier just starting because I had the clients already. They were the ones that were actually telling me, you need to do this full time. There's so many people that really would benefit from this. So I already had that like cheerleading section.
Yeah.
It was when I was at that point where it's like, okay, how am I going to really make this work and lucrative? Because I do, I have aspirations for, helping my community out more. And there's personal aspirations for my family. So that mindset hurdle of you've got to go big, like what is that saying? Go home or go big?
Go big or go home.
At that point. I'm so bad with those cliches. But yeah, it was at that point, it's like, okay, you got to do this now. You got to make it work. Otherwise, go, stop wasting your time. Go get a job.
Yes. So can we talk a little bit about, I know there was, the loss of your dad, but you had also mentioned in your application that you really just wanted more freedom to be able to have more control over your days. And I think you had mentioned spending time with your nieces. Can you talk a little bit about what motivates you? Because running your own business it's not always easy. Yes. So what keeps you going during those hard times? What is it that really set that fire inside of you?
So for family-wise, I have a couple uncles here, but for the most part, my family is all over the place. I have my sister with my nieces and a nephew in Texas. I have another nephew in Oregon. I have another sister in Ohio.
Wow.
My mother's in Oregon. So it's like I needed that ability to work from wherever. So I could go visit my sisters. I could go visit my mother. My husband has places he wants to go to that I would like to travel with him with. So it was corporate-wise, you don't have that luxury. I was actually really lucky because I had a lot of freedom. I could work from home. I was able to take some time off, and it was easier than most, but you still have that attachment to your job because you have responsibilities and you don't want to let people down. So I think just owning your own business and making the shots, I have the flexibility to go to a lady entrepreneurs meeting at 10:30 on Monday.
Yes.
If I have my schedule wrapped around it. So it's that was the biggest thing, is that I could make the decision. I didn't have to work with anybody else on that decision. I'm pretty good about having my client work all done so that I can, it's not going to affect them because they're the most important.
Right. And what was the time frame of when you were let go from corporate, when they decided to move the location, and when you launched your own business? Did you launch your business before you had lost that job, or did you lose the job and then you started that client work?
I knew they were moving, so I was working behind the scenes.
Okay.
But then I actually had a really unique opportunity where I actually turned them into a client.
Oh,
so
look at that.
Was very helpful.
That's awesome. You're good when.
So yeah,
that's wonderful. So what do you feel like is the greatest thing? Have you been able to travel and see your nieces now over this past year and a half since you launched?
I haven't actually, but I'm now starting to see. I've got a live event in Seattle that I'm going to in September, and then right after that, I'm going to visit my best friend, and then I'm traveling from Seattle to Arizona to go to the Zone events. So I'm doing some live events, and then hoping after that I can start making some travel plans just strictly for family.
Yes. Oh, that'll be awesome. How amazing. And most people, I'm sure they'd really rather come visit you considering where you live.
You know what? That's ironic because I actually do have my best friend from New York is coming.
Okay.
But everybody on the East Coast doesn't want to do the flights.
I've heard it is long. I have not been to Hawaii myself. I've heard it's long and it's not the cheapest flight to make. So
yeah, and even my sister is like, because she used to come here quite frequently, but then she moved to Ohio, and she's like, I'm not coming to visit you every year until I move back to the West Coast.
Yes. It definitely harder from the East Coast. I will give them that, definitely.
Yes.
So how many clients do you service at a time?
Currently, we max out at 5.
Okay.
I really want to give them the boutique approach.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, I do have an opening for 1. But then as we scale into the new year, we might be able to do a little bit more than that. I'm actually looking to shoot like 7 to 10 at that point.
Okay. Wow. That'd be awesome. And
I'm really into scaling small baby steps, so we don't overdo it.
If you set the bar low, you always reach your goals. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Well, we've got a whole year, and then we're gonna go big.
There you go. There you go. Yes. So what has been the most fulfilling piece of running your own business to you? Is it something with the clients? Is it just having that freedom in your schedule? What do you think is the most fulfilling for you?
The most fulfilling is my clients. I am really picky about who I work with, and they are strong. They are very passionate about what they do, and most of that, well, all of them actually, are making some sort of difference or impact, either directly in their community or on a broader spectrum.
Oh, that's awesome. And for anybody that is on the live or catches the replay, I would love for you to share in the comments what piece of your business you find the most fulfilling. I think we all have these different reasons what brought us into being in business, whether it's our family, our time, wanting to create our own schedules and determine how much we're going to make more than we can working a corporate job. But if you can share what your why is for starting your business and the piece of it that you find the most fulfilling, I would love to hear from the people that catch the show, kind of what their experience is too, and what they get the most value out of their own businesses. So one last question about your business, and then we'll get into your offer and your top 2 tips. So when you say you help with systems, and I know you mentioned with the one client about invoicing, are there just specific areas that you help with, or do you help, what types of systems, I guess, do you help them implement? Is it more of the spreadsheets and invoicing and databases, or do you also help with even like recruiting and hiring practices and things like that?
Yes.
Oh, you do?
Yeah. So what I do is we manage your teams, your projects, and the day-to-day operations. So I will come in. If you don't have systems, we're going to do everything we can to get you on board to creating systems, documenting systems, putting systems in your business. I'm also a big believer that you can't just have somebody do that for you. You need to be involved as well. Like, I can do a lot of the work, but you need to have that input as to, is this really working for you? If I were to get hit by a bus tomorrow, would you still be doing these systems? So it's really important to me that they're behind it, and it's not just me saying, okay, we've got to put these in place, and it's all my way, and we're going to follow this way going forward. It's not like that with my clients at all.
Do you do the implementation for your clients?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I will do the implementation. They kind of are in charge of testing it, but I'm kind of like your COO. So I'm your right hand, I still want to say man, but right hand woman.
Yes.
You are the visionary. You started your business for a purpose, and it wasn't probably doing spreadsheets. It probably wasn't even analyzing data. So I'm there to do that kind of stuff that you are not really wanting to do in the first place, or not good at, or just have no desire to do those things. And then you can either do, pretty much I tell my clients that they should be doing three things. They should be creating the content that attracts them to their people. They need to be making connections with other people, and then the revenue generating activities. So they need to be focusing on just those three things. I can, worry about the spreadsheets. And if things are breaking with their tech, then I'm not an implementer, but I'm the one who will get the person out there who does know what they're doing. I pretty much will create the project plans and make sure deadlines are being met, and communication's really big with me as well, so that all the team members are on the same page. They know that they're working as a team, and they have everything that they need to do the best job that they can.
Oh, that's awesome. How long do you usually work with a client then, or does it really just depend on what area they need help with?
I actually like my clients to stay with me forever.
Yes.
Best
answer ever right there.
So I work with my clients one of two ways, either project-based, where if they have like a launch, then I'll come in, we'll do the project plan, we'll implement with their team, and then I usually step out after that. Where I really like working with my clients is one-on-one, ongoing. It's under a 6-month contract, and then we're hoping that after those 6 months are over, we're continuing the contract another 6 months, and so on and so forth.
Okay.
So
yes. So were you already married when you launched your business?
Yes.
So how was your husband with that? Was he, I know a lot of women get nervous to tell their spouses, everybody's different, so it can fall in all different areas. Like my husband is super supportive and was like my biggest cheerleader, like, go, do it. You got this. You can do it. I know other women's husbands have been really skeptical, like, ooh, how much is this going to cost us to start it up? And how are we, and a little bit more leery of it. What was your experience with your husband?
My experience is all on me. My husband's extremely supportive. I was the main breadwinner for the family. He is a disabled vet. So I was the one who was bringing in most of the money. So a lot of guilt was like, is it fair of me to do this? Because we are decreasing our income drastically, especially in the beginning. Mm-hmm. Was it fair of me to do this? And that kind of was the struggle that I had. And he actually, before he got to the point where he really couldn't do any like physical labor, he actually owned his own business. He's a diver. So he owned his own business where he cleaned bottoms of boats, and he had that entrepreneurial spirit in him as well. So he was like, you go, you do what you need to do.
Yes.
And he was fine eating top ramen.
Do what we got to do, right? That's what we have to do sometimes. Yeah. So how did you work through that? Because I think that's really interesting that you were the breadwinner and your husband being a disabled vet, so you carried a lot of the fears and the worries and maybe some of the guilt. How did you work yourself through that?
Oh, I think at times I still have that, but now, he sees, people are asking for me, and he's actually, in fact, I keep telling him to stop. He sent, hands out my business cards, not necessarily the people I want to work with. But I take that as flattery.
Yes. Oh, that's so cute. I could just see him just going out on the street corner. Take my wife's card. Take my wife's card. Oh, that's so cute.
And that, I think, when it does get hard, that's kind of the reaffirming thing that I am doing the right thing. Mm-hmm. Because he's so supportive. Because now it's at the point where I can't let him down.
Yes. So do you feel like
make this work
between your husband and you? Do you feel like in my marriage, I'm definitely the realist, and my husband is the dreamer. And so when I was starting my business, I had all of these like nail biting. But what if this happens? And what if this? And my husband's like, so what if it happens? At least you tried. Like, you would rather try and then have something not work, or, he's like, and think it through, like, what's the worst case scenario? And that really helped pull me back from some of my fears, because I'm the one that does all of our budgeting and pays all the bills. And, he's always like, just tell me what we can do, because I handle all of the finances. Do you feel like between you and your husband, it sounds like you both already had entrepreneurial spirits, but do you feel like one of you is more of the worrier, or you have a dreamer and a realist in your relationship too?
It sounds like your relationship mirrors mine, because I am the same way. I'm the one who, even now with this hurricane, yesterday I was like, he says we're fully prepared. He was prepared weeks ago, and I'm still like, do we have enough ice? Do we need more water? Do we have enough toilet paper? What if the barge can't get here next week? And this is like all we have until the end of eternity. I have no idea what my thinking is.
Yes.
Like, even snack wise, I'm like, okay, do we really have enough snacks? Now we need fun snacks. And yeah, he's like, you just need to chill out.
Yep. I understand completely what's that like. I over prepare for everything, I think.
I plan for plan A, plan B, and then if all hell breaks loose, there's another plan for that one.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I love it. So I believe you had an exciting offer with something starting on Monday.
Well, actually, we started last Monday.
Oh, last Monday. Okay.
Yeah, last Monday, but I really wanted it to be really casual. So we are running our first 5-day challenge. Technically, we're on day 5 today, but a lot of people had to do some catch up. So they were wanting to stall for day 5, and we're going to do that Monday. So basically, it's in the Facebook group, Systematize, Support, Succeed. And you can just go in there, and the daily prompts are there. So you can either binge watch like Netflix and do it over the weekend and then be ready for Monday, or you can always watch the replays and do the prompts on your own time as well. We're not going to take it down.
And that's a Facebook group, you said, right? That's a Facebook group.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. So hopefully then people will jump in and take advantage of that. Is that a group that you have open all the time, or was that only opened up for the 5-day challenge?
It was opened up for the 5-day challenge, but what my hopes are is that we can keep the challenges coming. So this first challenge was all about creating your life cycle journey and mapping that out so you can use that as a resource in your business.
Oh, wow.
And then the next challenge will be like kind of like how to write your first SOPs, and it'll just, systems are ongoing. They're kind of like living, breathing in your business. So I'm hoping to do at least a new challenge every quarter, maybe even more often than that. And then we have that system support group, I guess you can say, where
awesome.
Isn't that sexy, fun thing? You can get some feedback.
I love it though. That's awesome that you created that group and you're able to run the challenge, and we'll be hopefully able to provide more challenges down the road. So anybody catching this, jump in that group, check it out. You need systems. They are important in every business. So we are at about our 30-minute mark right now, and I'm really excited for you to share your top 2 tips. I love hearing every woman's top 2 tips. So yes, if you just want to jump in, whichever one you want to start with.
Okay, so the first one I think that's extremely important is stay in your lane. It was so easy to get sidetracked with all the other mentors and gurus and all of their feedback as to what you should be doing and what you shouldn't be doing in your business. And I also kind of got away from what I wanted to do in my business because I listened to that. So stay in your lane, stick with your gut, do what you want to do. This is your business. So you need to do
and I love that
whatever you want to do.
Especially in the early stages of business, I think that we start consuming so much information and it's good to consume, right? Like we want to grow and we want to learn, and we look up to these people who are further along in their business than we are right now. But you can so quickly, like you said, get sidetracked, and suddenly it's like, oh, well, I was going to do this, but this person did this instead, and maybe I should try that. And then you watch another webinar, or you hear a podcast, or you watch a Facebook Live, and then you're suddenly like, oh, maybe I need to do this instead. Oh, maybe I need to be over here. Maybe I need to be over there. And I think sometimes in the beginning it's harder to trust your gut and it's harder to trust your intuition, but oftentimes our intuition does lead us in the right direction, and it's good to get that education to fill in those gaps, but sticking with what you know you want to do is really helpful and important, but can be very difficult in the early stages.
Exactly. And I think it's easy to get off track. The second one is, I always get it backwards because I'm horrible with cliches. Imperfect action is much better than perfect inaction.
Preach!
So,
Preach it! I love it!
As a perfectionist myself, it's hard because it procrastinates things. You want to make sure everything is perfect, and then it never gets out there. So get it out there.
Yes.
Tweak as you need to, and that's just do it, like Nike said.
Yes. And I think, like we talked about earlier too, that so often when we're fearful of something or we feel resistance, it's much easier to keep saying, it's not done yet, or I haven't had time to work on it. And I think the same thing happens when whether it's launching our website or making an offer or whatever it might be, a new social media strategy, whatever it might be. A lot of times it's because you're really fearful of the response or lack of response that you're going to get from people. And constantly working on something and not putting it out there is just, even if you think you're working on it every single night, that can still be a form of procrastination as opposed to just put it out there. You can always change it later.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, and as you're doing it too, you can change. So
yes.
It's not like it's a done thing.
Exactly. I love those top 2 tips. Thank you so much for coming on. What is your weather doing there now? Is it still holding off, you think?
Actually, it's not raining at the moment. It's gray. The winds have actually died down a little bit, so we're good.
Okay, good. I am happy to hear that, and I'll keep my fingers and my toes and my everything else crossed that everybody stays safe there and that there's no flooding or, any of the other repercussions that can happen. And thank you so much for coming on the Girls Talk Business Show today. It was an absolute pleasure to have you on. And I will connect with you once we are off the live here, and I'll make sure that I have the right link to the Facebook group, and I will update the description of the live. And anybody who would like to connect with Tracy, join that group. Connect with her on social media, follow her. She knows her stuff. She knows what she's doing. And trust me, we all need better systems in our businesses. So excellent.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Blast.
Yes, I'm so happy you were able to come on, and stay safe over there.
Yes, thank you so much. Have a great weekend.
Thank you. You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.